Hey guys, I'm back with a really quick page in my December daily album. I'm going to use some of the exclusive products from Citrus Twist, as well as a couple of digital options this week. So I've gone ahead and started by printing out a full page photo. So I've printed that at 5 by 8¼ inches, and I've done my journaling on top of it. It's quite a dark sort of photo. And so I just did that in Photoshop so that I could have white typing on top of my photo. And I've just sort of placed that in the darkest area so that it has the highest amount of contrast. Now I'm going to use, if you've seen my Project Life video this week, you know I'm totally in love with this pink and red 3x4 digital printable card. This is the second time I've used it this week. I don't think it's going to be the last, but I'm just using it as kind of a backing for one of the pieces that was in the die cut ephemera pack, which was this reading log card. Now that was sized at 3x4, but it has rounded corners, and I wasn't like a super fan of the rounded corners, so I've trimmed them down, which obviously makes it a little bit smaller than 3x4. So backing it on that red and pink card just gives it a little bit of extra pattern, a little bit of extra color, and makes it up to the right size. Now I'm also going to use some of the fabulous florals that are in here, especially the red ones. They feel kind of Christmassy to me. They've got navy blue on them, which is kind of a little bit darker. It's not quite black like my photo, but it kind of ties in that darker sort of photo together. So that's what I'm going to use. Now I ended up with kind of a blank 3x4 spot. I wasn't sure what I was going to do in there, and once I put all this together, I kind of decided that what I would do is print out another photo. So I went away and printed out a little photo of the book that I'm reading this month, and I'm going to add that up there. Now I've added it onto another digital card. This, however, is a traveler's notebook page, so it's one of the digital traveler's notebook pages that when I printed it out, I trimmed it down to 4x6 so I could use it for Project Life, and now I've just trimmed that down to 3x4 so I can use it in this page protector. So I'm getting good use out of all of these digitals this month. I'm going to add another floral up there because I just printed a little square photo, and so it's kind of an awkward shape. I'm going to fill in some of the gap up there with a floral. I didn't want to add an extra color though with that kind of teal, so I'm going to hide that underneath the photo, and I figured there was no reason to waste it. I'm just going to fussy cut it out so then I can use the red floral, but I can still use that teal one somewhere else. So the red one just is going to tuck in nicely behind my photo. You don't notice that I've cut the white off it just because of the way I've tucked it. So the place where I cut into the actual floral part doesn't have a white outline around it, but that part sits on top of my photo, so you don't actually notice that difference at all. Now the other thing that I have done is pulled out that rest spot to die cut. That was kind of the whole starting point for this page. It's definitely what my journaling's about, that I have been woken very early this month by a restless little dog, but it's actually the perfect excuse to spend kind of a little bit of time sitting by my little Christmas tree, reading a book, having a cup of coffee, just generally having a little bit of peace and quiet before the day starts. Now I took that photo, obviously no one else was up with me at that time of the morning, so I took the photo just with the self timer on my camera, and I did edit it a little bit in Photoshop so that I had that really high contrast between the white Christmas tree and the silhouette of myself in the foreground. So to finish off this page, it's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to add a little chipboard sticker. This is another one of the exclusives this month. It says Lose Yourself, and I'm going to combine it with one of the stamps from the Merriam Bright stamp set, which says It's Time To, so that worked quite nicely together. Just again filling out that kind of blank spot at the top of this card here. And I am going to stamp in black ink, which seems a bit strange with the navy blue, but again I'm trying to tie in that really huge black photo that I've got going on the left hand side here. Now the reading log, I wasn't going to fill it in necessarily. I didn't want to add any more journaling. You can quite clearly see the title of my book in the photo. All of my journaling is on my full page photo, so I didn't have a whole lot of words that I wanted to use on the reading log card. Instead, I'm just going to stamp a stamp, and I mean, I'm loath to even call it a cluster. It's just like a visual element down here. I'm going to combine that so that it's slightly underneath that die cut and just make more of a filler card out of this reading log than an actual journal card. I could not remember where I had this floral. I don't think I've stamped the cozy in quite the right spot, so I've just had to pull that floral down a little bit and ended up chopping off the bottom and the right hand side of it. I actually kind of like the look, so that was just a little bit of good luck rather than good planning. Now the last thing I have to do for my actual photo page is hole punch the holes to make sure that they line up with all of the page protectors in my album. When I have a full page like this, I just line up a page protector on top and I punch it with a single hole punch. I do have a 6-hole punch, but I don't use it that often. It's easier for me to do it with the single hole punch like that, using the page protector as a template, just to make sure that all of those holes are in the right place. Now I'm adding my little rest spot die cut with some liquid adhesive, just give me a little bit of wiggle room to make sure I get it in the right place on my photo. And then I was looking to maybe add some extra color, and I wondered whether I would use the puffy stickers. There's a few little stars in there that I thought would work. But I didn't end up adding them because I didn't want to add any extra colors. I kind of like this very specific color scheme that I've got going on with the red, pink, and navy, and I didn't feel like adding green into that mix. Instead, I'm going to use some of these gold glitter enamel dots. They're from the Merry and Bright kit as well, and I'm just going to add a couple on each sort of card. So I'm going to add 2 under my rest spot. I've added a couple into that cozy cluster down there, and just a couple of the smaller ones up on the top card. Just kind of one little detail that pulls all 3 of these pages or pieces together into one cohesive spread, and call it done. It really was a very easy page to put together thanks to all of these gorgeous exclusives from Citrus Twist. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye!